It is just after 9:30 on this Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us on BT Vancouver. An elderly couple has died in an overnight fire in Surrey's Bridgeview area. Surrey Fire and the RCMP were called to the property on 125B and Old Yale Road early this morning. It's expected they will be there for a while as they work to put out hotspots. Earlier this morning, you could smell the smoke as far away as New Westminster. The fire chief has confirmed an elderly couple was not able to get out. They lived in the basement of the home. No one else was hurt in this fire. An investigation is underway. Vancouver police were called to the area of East 53rd Avenue near Main Street just before 9:45 last night for reports of a shooting. When they arrived, they were able to help a man until paramedics could treat and transport him to hospital. Police say his injuries are not life-threatening. Officers are still guarding a home on East 53rd. No one has been arrested. Police are looking to speak with anyone who may have any information. BC recorded 34 new cases of COVID-19 just yesterday. More than 70 people contracted the virus in the Kelowna area while partying earlier in the week. Dr. Bonnie Henry says close to 1,000 people are self-isolating in the province because of recent infections in the Okanagan. The Rocky Mountaineer has suspended the remainder of its travel season due to the negative impact the pandemic has had on the tourism industry. The company president says rail tours will be postponed until the 2021 season. He says guests who already bought tickets for this year will receive a travel credit, which will still be valid next year. The Tourism Industry Association of BC believes the sector should be allocated nearly $700 million to help with the impact of COVID-19. Dr. Bonnie Henry says children will not have to wear a mask when they return to school in September. BC's top doctor says it's known they are not good for long periods of time, and there are other ways to learn safely. It comes as BC's education minister says he's pushing for a 100% return for elementary and middle school students this September. Full details on the back-to-school plan are expected to be announced next week. More childcare spaces are coming to BC. The province says almost 17,000 new spaces have been created in the past 2 years. If you're a parent, you'll find more options on school grounds, which the government says provides a smoother transition to kindergarten.
It gives real convenience for parents, and I know from the Little Ferns childcare in School District 68 already, how it's really great for families keeping connected. And sometimes even mothers who have returned to finish their high school, for them to have childcare right on the grounds is really important as well.
All right, almost 9:35 now. Well, it's official. Seattle's new NHL team has been named the Seattle Kraken. Our Greg Harper has been following this story for us all morning. He now joins us live. And Greg, a new rivalry has been born.
It has, and there was so much speculation leading into this morning. Mary, a lot of people feeling this, the team should be called the Sockeyes, some saying the Metropolitans. Well, we now know it will be the Seattle Kraken. This was a huge announcement, and they made it actually at Climate Pledge Arena. That's where Seattle will eventually play when they get going here, and that'll be in the 2021-22 season. The VP of Marketing unveiling the name and the logo.
We are proud to give you the Seattle Kraken.
So what do you think of the logo? I like it. Pretty slick, an S there, a tentacle coming up. You have the red eye of the Kraken as well. The color scheme, a bit of a nightmare for someone like myself who's colorblind. The team's website says it's deep sea blue, ice blue, boundless blue, shadow blue, and red alert. You have some red along the neck and a little red stripe on the bottom. An anchor on the sleeve of the jersey. Pretty slick, I would say. Now, on the team's Twitter account, it says, now that we have a name, we're strategizing all the ways to draft your favorite player. And I just checked the Vancouver Canucks Twitter account. Nothing from the Canucks yet. Be interesting to see what the take is around the league. This is the NHL's 32nd franchise. We now know it's the Seattle Kraken, and again, they will begin playing in the 2021-2022 season. Still lots of work for management there to get a team on the ice. But what do you think of the jerseys, Mary? I like it.
I like them too. This is very exciting for hockey fans across North America, across the world, actually. More importantly, though, I had no idea that you were colorblind, Greg Harper.
I am,
wow.
And it's interesting. It's shades of colors I have a tough time with. So if you're talking about shades of blue, which we are here with this Kraken uniform, to me, sometimes it can look like all one color to me.
Interesting.
But,
okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I did not know that. Fun facts from Greg Harper this morning. 9:37 now on Breakfast Television. Just one more story to share with you. With terms like physical distancing and quarantini, the COVID-19 pandemic has expanded our vocabulary. Courtney Theriault spells out this story.
I'm just enjoying a quarantini during locktail hour before I jump on a quick Zoom and then mask up for a social distancing party. And hopefully there are no COVIDiots who try to corona-splain. Now that might actually sound like a foreign language to someone all the way back in February 2020, but in reality, it's part of a significant surge of new words that have arisen during the pandemic.
I've collected around 1,000 terms, but there are even more.
Linguist Tony Thorne has been watching his dictionary expand since March. While the medical community is behind some of the new lingo, like physical distancing, much of it is dreamt up in front of a computer.
Zoom rooms, video furbishing, Zoom bombing, all this new slang, but this is coming from ordinary people, not coming from the medical authorities.
Thorne says major events like wars or Brexit often inspire their own language, but that the pandemic has been churning out new words at a, well, unprecedented rate.
The pandemic vocabulary is slightly different because it really concerns all of us. It's not just young people using slang, it's adults, it's everybody.
But while Drivecation, Isobar, and Morona may never earn official Scrabble status, they have proven that language is a vital coping tool.
These kind of almost light-hearted terms make it more bearable, and they're also all about solidarity. They're sort of sharing an experience, and maybe one of the most important coping mechanisms we've got.
But it's not all fun and games, with critics arguing that politicians have engaged in confusing doublespeak during the pandemic, treating the situation often more as an election campaign than a health emergency.
It's not just the messages, it's the maneuvers, the tactics, the strategies too.
Still, the long-term effects of corona speak remain to be seen, especially given that we're awash in another prominent word, uncertainty.
A lot of this language we hope, will simply fade away, because of course it's all distressing language, even the funny stuff.
One thing is certain, though, selecting the 2020 word of the year will be a challenge, but Thorne has an early favorite.
Armchair virologist, middle-aged corona-splainer who sits in his home pretending, and lecturing people.
In Edmonton, Courtney Theriault, City News.
No, I think COVIDiot is definitely the word for 2020.
Leading the charge, yes. It's our coping mechanism, Mary, as that gentleman was mentioning. Some of these terms can be distressing, and I'm sure none more so than if your name happened to be Karen, right? Because that one was sticking around for a little while, and we'll see if that one kind of fades in the background somewhat.
Poor Karen.
Yeah, exactly. Poor Karen indeed. So hopefully we flush that one away, and we'll look at your forecast now, which starts out with a lot of cloud cover this morning, Mary.